Assiniboia Downs is proud to present our co-featured event here in race number 4. It's the 53rd running of the Osiris for 2-year-olds. They're going to go 5.5 furlongs for a purse of $25,000. Number 1 is Me First, owned by Nicole Saylor, trained by Ardell Saylor with Christopher Husbands. Number 2 is Paint My Ride, owned by Don Schnell and Barry Arneson, trained by Don Schnell with Antonio Whitehall. Number 3 is My Hacienda, owned by Dave Uhas, trained by Ardell Saylor with Adolfo Morales. Number 4 is Dixieland Lake, owned by K5 Stables, trained by Shelley Brown with Ronaldo Cumberbatch. Number 5 is Ty Lane, owned by Nicole Saylor, trained by Ardell Saylor with Rohan Singh. Number 6 is Ruled, owned and trained by Ardell Saylor, Tyrone Nelson aboard. Number 7, Escape Clause, is scratched. They're at the post. And they're off in the Osiris. From the inside, that's My Hacienda, showing some good early speed, but now Dixieland Lake also engages. On the inside, Me First, making it a trio. Paint My Ride makes it 4 across the track, 5 across to Ty Lane, and the overland trip is Ruled. They went the opening quarter in 23-1. Paint My Ride has now opened up the early lead. Back to second, My Hacienda on the far outside. That's Dixieland Lake making a move. Me First back to fourth, and then it's Ty Lane and Ruled. They're hitting the head of the lane. Paint My Ride is up by 4 through a half of 47-1. Trying to rally is Dixieland Lake, but they're coming up to the 16th pole. Paint My Ride hit the front end, the longest shot on the board, takes the Osiris. Dixieland Lake second. Third's going to go to Ty Lane, and fourth to Me First. Now entering the winner's enclosure is the official winner of race number 4, the 53rd running of the Osiris. That's number 2, Paint My Ride. Paint My Ride is a chestnut gelding, 2 years old, by Going Commando, out of the mare High Pioneer by Pioneering. Owned by Don Schnell and Barry Arneson, trained by Don Schnell, and ridden to victory by Antonio Whitehall. Time for the 5.5 furlongs, 106-3. Number 2, Paint My Ride, was proudly bred right here in Manitoba by Colin Lansbury. Also, Assiniboia Downs is pleased to have on hand Bob King, who makes a presentation to the winning connections. Also, congratulations goes out to trainer Don Schnell and jockey Antonio Whitehall for the stakes race double. 2 wins for trainer Don Schnell and jockey Antonio Whitehall. Race 4 is official in the upcoming 5th race. The Canadian, 17 minutes away. Now directing your attention back down to the winner's enclosure, ASD Paddock host Rob McLennan has the winning connections of the Osiris. Rob, take it away.
Thanks, Kurt. We're down here with the winning connections of the 53rd running of the Osiris Stakes. Antonio Whitehall, Don Schnell, and Barry Arneson here with Paint My Ride. You didn't ride him last time, Antonio. You got on him today. All of a sudden, he took off down the backside, and you opened up and won pretty impressively. Have you been on this horse in the morning, or what did Don tell you getting to go into the race?
Well, he told me he's a good horse. Just asked him to go. I told him I want to go to the lead. Just want to keep going. You know what I mean? I say.
That's definitely a very brief way to explain it. What did you kind of think down the lane as you opened up? You had definitely kind of opened up lead on the race. What was your kind of thoughts coming down the last eighth of a mile?
I know I had a couple of lengths on him, so I know I had to race over. But I just beat back, and it was even more than I expected. So I just cruised home and posed for the camera.
Congratulations, Antonio. Anything else to add?
I want to thanks the Winning Connection. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thanks, Antonio. We'll move on to Don here, trainer and part owner. Paint My Ride, an interesting Manitoba bred colt, obviously very easy to find in the morning. What did you kind of think of this colt coming into his debut? We'll kind of start from there.
Well, when we had him going here, he was kind of a little bit of an outlaw. He would dump the rider sometimes, and anyways, we got him straightened out and got him going, and then got a race into him, and he was very impressive today.
Were you kind of expecting a much better performance today? I know he had trouble in his first trip, as we try not to get eaten alive by mosquitoes down here. And then what did you kind of think of the race as it kind of happened as well?
Well, when he didn't break real sharp, and he was last actually for a little bit down the backside, mind you, not that far out of it, but he dug in and hustled up there and got the lead, and then never looked back, and showed some heart and showed some talent.
It's kind of an interesting dynamic where you had Outlandos, you had Escape Clause who scratched out in favor of the sale stake tomorrow. Talk about kind of the way you kind of weaved your way and ended up kind of splitting up the Manitoba bred babies you do have.
Well, Escape Clause, is a very nice filly too, and we decided at the last minute that the sale stake might be the place for her. And so anyways, we switched and scratched out of here, and are going to run her tomorrow.
So a very nice win. Lots to look forward to with Paint My Ride, a full brother to Jet again. Now we look forward to the next start. It could also, you probably have options there with the Futurity and the Buffalo coming up here at the end of the meet.
Yeah, I'll talk with Barry and we'll decide here. I'm guessing probably the Buffalo, but Barry's a very knowledgeable horseman, and we talk it over and we'll decide.
I definitely agree with you on that. We'll bring in Barry here for a few comments here. What do you think of Paint My Ride after a pretty impressive performance here? A really flashy win here in the Osiris.
Well, like you said, he's a full brother to Jet again, and Jet again blossomed as a 3-year-old, so I was expecting to improve. I knew he was a nice horse. He's been out-hustled by Escape Clause. I think it's probably the better right now, but pretty nice horse. And when we did the split, I figured let's cover both sides, and very pleasant surprise that he could go. I thought we'd be competitive, but I liked the gamble too. It was pretty nice. So.
Yeah, it definitely turned out in a nice winning mutual at $19. Anything else really to add other than the fact this is just another one of your tremendous Manitoba breds that just keep cashing in the paychecks for you?
Well, I got to give credit to Don. He does such a fantastic job with 2-year-olds. We were a little bit behind for a while, like Ardell got out of the gate there, and our horses had a little trouble, but we've come on and with patience, like you said, this is a little bit of an odd head, but he's growing out of it. And look for great things from him. If he can run half as good as Jet again, and he looks like he can, should be some fun coming ahead. And it's a Manitoba bred, so anybody come on out on Sunday and support him, because here's where the money's at. So,
congratulations, Barry, Don, Antonio Whitehall with Paint My Ride, the winner of the 53rd running of the Osiris Stakes right here at ASD.